Good day and welcome to my channel. I'm DeMetrius, your host, and in this video, we'll be looking at the letter of Apostle Paul, Romans, an intimate review part 3 by yours truly. You can enjoy this and many other reviews at my website, lawrencedemetrius.com, and I encourage you to visit today. And right now, we're going to pick right up at Romans 1 verse 23, where Apostle Paul writes about rebellious souls who change the glory of the uncorruptible God to images of corruptible things. Changed in the Greek is alasso. It means to make a difference. Glory is doxa. It is very apparent glory. Uncorruptible is aphthartos. It means not decaying in essence and continuance. God again is theos. It is a deity, supreme divinity, and a magistrate. Image is icon. It is a likeness, statue, profile, representation, or resemblance. Corruptible is thartos. It means decayed and perishable. Lucifer desires to be worshipped in the most holy place and lifted up like, not as, Yahweh, the highest God. He knows he will never take the place of Yahweh within mortal hearts. However, with masterful deception, he can be lifted up and worshiped like only Yahweh should be in the hearts of unbelieving mortals. This is possible because mortals have free will to worship whoever or whatever they want to worship. The most sacred place of worship is the mortal heart or the mortal mind. Lucifer seeks to usurp residence within mortal hearts or minds and does so with lying persuasions. Although he cannot force mortals to worship him, he can pacify their carnal nature with many forms of temptation. Apostle Paul provides a detailed description of the degradation mortals fall into when they willingly discard divine worship. There is a point at which Yahweh will give mortals up to the uncleanness they choose to embrace per the lusts or the desires of their carnal nature. Let me say that again. There is a point at which Yahweh will give mortals up to the uncleanness they choose to embrace per the lusts of their carnal nature, which Paul talks about at Romans 8, verses 5 through 8. As they yield to these lusts or the lusts of their carnal nature, they find it right to change the truth of Yahweh into a lie and begin to worship the creature that Yahweh created more than Yahweh himself, who is the creator and is blessed forever and ever. Uncleanness is akatharsia in the Greek. It is impurity and the physical or moral quality thereof. Lust here in this verse is orexis. It means to long after, and it is excitement of the mind. Heart is cardia. It is the heart, and it is figurative of one's thoughts, feelings, mind, and middle. Change is metalasso. It means to exchange, which means to give up something for something else. It is to part with for some equivalent. It is to change or replace for another. It is to interchange or receive reciprocally. It is to barter, part with in return for some equivalent, or transfer for a recompense. Mortals are created to worship. Therefore, they cannot rid themselves of the mode or desire to do so. Although Yahweh created them to exclusively worship him, he created them with free will. Thus, they can choose not to worship him. Truth is aletheia. It is truth in verity. Truth, by definition, is actuality. Actual existence in the true or actual state of a matter. It is conformity with fact or reality and an obvious or accepted fact. It is a verified or indisputable fact, proposition, or principle. Truth is honesty, integrity, and truthfulness. Verity is the state or quality of being true. It is accordance with fact and reality. It is something that is true as a principle, belief, idea, or statement. Lie is pseudos. It is a falsehood. Worship is sebadzamahi. It means to venerate or adore. Now, venerate is to revere, treat, and regard with reverence. Adore is to honor, regard with utmost esteem, love, and respect, and it is to like, admire very much, pay divine honor to, and worship. Creature is tissis. It is an original formation or act thereof, and the thing created. Creator is quidzo. It refers to the proprietorship of the manufacturer and the act of fabricating, founding, or originally forming a thing. Blessed is eulogetos. It means adorable, which is very attractive or delightful, charming, and worthy of being adored. Yahweh permits, excuse me, Yahweh permits idolaters to dishonor their own bodies amongst themselves, which includes their soma or their triune being. This is the spirit, mind, soul, heart, and physical body. Your spirit and your mind is your seat of your intellect. Your soul and heart is the seat of your sentiments. And then of course, there's your natural and your physical body. We see them at First Thessalonians 5, verse 20. We also see them at Romans 12, verses 1 through 3. Dishonor in the Greek is atemazo. It means to render infamous, contemn, and maltreat. Infamous is having an extremely bad reputation, deserving of or causing an evil reputation, to shamefully defame, slander, speak evil and harmful truths about. It is to detest, which is to feel abhorrence of, hate, and intensely dislike. Anyone who speaks to influence death or ill will on themselves or another does so under satanic persuasion. Born again believers inherit tongues that only speak in a manner that invokes and nurtures life to the mortal spirit, mind, soul, heart, and the physical body. We see that at Isaiah chapter 50, verse 4. Contemn means to treat or regard with disdain, scorn, and contempt. Disdain is a feeling of contempt for anything regarded as unworthy. It is haughty and contempt. Scorn is open or unqualified contempt. It is an object of derision, and it is a derisive or contemptuous action or speech. Contempt is the feeling with which a person regards anything considered or that they consider mean, vile, or worthless. It is the state of being despised, dishonored, and disgraced. To maltreat is to abuse. It is to treat and handle badly, cruelly, and roughly. Bodies is soma in the Greek. It is the mortal body, the spirit, the soul, as a sound, and the physical body as the sound, as a sound whole. And sound by definition means to be free from injury, damage, defect, and disease, free in good, to be in good condition, healthy, and robust. It means to be financially strong, secure, and reliable, competent, sensible, and valid, having no defect as to truth, justice, wisdom, or reason. It is of substantial or enduring character. It is to be following in a systematic pattern without any apparent defect in logic. All right. And to be sound is to be deep and uninterrupted or untroubled. Whole, by definition, is the whole assemblage of parts or elements belonging to a thing. It is the entire quantity, account, extent, or number, a thing complete in itself or comprising all its parts or elements. It is a unitary system and assemblage of parts associated or viewed together as one thing. In Romans 1, verse 26, Apostle Paul writes that Yahweh will subject idolaters to their own vile affections. Vile in the Greek is tamia, is atimia, atimia. It means infamy, indignity, and disgrace. Infamy is having an extremely bad reputation, public reproach, or strong condemnation that is invoked by shameful, criminal, or outrageous conduct. This pertains to the practices. This pertains to the practices of idolatry. We see it at Exodus 20, verse 3. Indignity is injury to a person's dignity, slighting or contemptuous treatment, and a humiliating affront, insult, or injury. Disgrace is shame and loss of respect, honor, or esteem. It is a person, act, or thing that causes shame, reproach, or dishonor, and it is that which is dishonorable and shameful. Disgrace is the state of being out of and excluded from favor, confidence, or trust. Affections is pathos, it is suffering. In this scripture, it is a passion, and it is concupiscence. Okay, suffering is the state of a person or thing that suffers often. Suffering is pain or something suffered by a person or a group of people. It is undergoing or feeling pain, distress, or penalty like death. It is sustained injury, disadvantage, or loss, and it is enduring pain, disability, and death patiently or willingly. Passion is any powerful or compelling emotion or feeling as love or hate. Passion is lust, strong sexual desire, or a person toward whom one feels strong love or sexual desire. It is a strong or extravagant fondness, enthusiasm, or desire for, and the object of such fondness or desire. Concupiscence is strong, sensuous, sexual longing and desire. In Romans chapter 1, verse 26, Apostle Paul notes how idolatry can invoke desire in mortals to use their physical bodies in ways that are not natural or innate to them. Natural in the Greek is physikos. It means physical and intrinsic. Physical, by definition, is physical exercise or physically demonstrative. It is carnal, sexual, intending to touch, hug, or pat. It is requiring, characterized by, or liking rough physical contact or strenuous physical activity. It is of or relating to what is material. Intrinsic means to be prompted by or resulting from or as if from instinct. Natural, unlearned, and of or relating to the natural instinct, which by definition is an inborn pattern of activity or tendency to action common to a given biological species. Okay, intrinsic is a natural aptitude, gift, and intuitive power. It is an impulse, inclination, or tendency that is natural or innate, which means native, inborn, and existing in one from birth. And we know that sin is a part of that for all mortal beings born after Adam. It is inherent in the essential character of something. It is originating in or arising from the intellect or the constitution of the mind, rather than learned through experience. Use is crasis. It is employment, and specifically sexual intercourse as an occupation of the body. Nature is physis. It relates to native disposition or usage. Native is the environment in which a person was born or a thing came into being. It is inherent and belonging to a person by birth or to a thing by nature. Native is an indigenous origin, growth, or production. Usage is a practice, custom, or customary way of doing something. It is treatment of any manner of doing or handling something. It is long continued practice, habitual or customary use. It is use or the act of using and employing. In Romans 1, verse 27, Apostle Paul advises that men and women who innately engaged with the opposite sex began to leave their innate engagements and begin to burn or become unusually desirous for physically engage with the same sex. For these idolaters, such conduct was deemed unseemly and caused them to receive within themselves meet recompense for their error. Okay, leaving is ephiemi. It means to send forth, send or put away, forsake, lay aside, let alone, and let go or omit. Burned is ekao in the Greek here. It means to deeply inflame, which means to kindle or excite passions and desires, arouse to a high degree of passion and feeling, incite or arouse to violence, cause to redden or grow heated in emotion. It is to raise the blood or bodily tissue to a morbid or feverish heat, and is to set on fire, a set aflame, ablaze, or a fire. Working is katergizamahi. It means to work fully, accomplish, finish, and fasten. Unseemly is aske masnue, ake masune. It is an indecency and the quality or condition of being indecent. It means, which means improper, vulgar, and offending against generally accepted standards of propriety and good taste. Okay, it means unbecoming and not decent. All right, that's what unseemly means. Unseemly, per Apostle Paul's statement here, also refers to the external genital organs, especially the female. Pudenda are male genitalia, and vulva are the female genitalia. Apostle Paul is speaking in regard to unnatural use of these body parts in idol worship. Receiving is apolambano. It means to fully receive as a host and take aside. Recompense is antimistia. It is requital or retaliation for a wrong, injury, and something given or done as repayment, reward, or punishment in return. Error is pene. It is fraudulence and a staying away from orthodoxy and piety. And meat is die. It means is or was necessary as binding. The recompense received for these idolaters was necessary and fitting per the acts they were practicing in worship to Lucifer in all kinds of ways. And there you have it. That's the letter of Apostle Paul, Romans, an intimate review, part 3 by yours truly, Lawrence DeMetrius. Again, you can enjoy this and many other reviews at my website, lawrencedemetrius.com. Go and visit today. And until the next video, be blessed in Jesus' name.